All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to History Maker Baseballers, the 2002 Blue Jays and the 1997 Texas Rangers. And we will be at the home stadium of the 97 Rangers for Game 1, and then Games 2 and 3 will be in Toronto at the Rogers Center. On the screen now we see the particulars for tonight's broadcast. The starting pitchers for the Blue Jays will be Pete Walker, and for the Rangers, John Burkett. The hot hitter for the Blue Jays is Eric Hensky, and the cold guy is Vernon Wells. For the Rangers, the hot guy is Damon Buford, and the cold guy is Rusty Greer. Both teams are semi-harmonious tonight. The weather is neutral, and both teams did receive a couple of perks on the pregame manager chart rolls. Backup infielder Felipe Lopez for the Blue Jays will have a Delta rating applied to his card if he comes to bat and gets the Delta roll. And for the Rangers, they got a big perk. John Burkett will be a star in tonight's ball game. So he will be both a star and a semi-workman, believe it or not. That's why we have the little star here on Burkett's card. Umpires for tonight's game at home plate will be Bobby Catalano. At first base, Ken Castro. At second base, Jim Browning, my old buddy who made pretty much all of these baseball trips by my side for all the years that we did the best team I've ever seen baseball scouting trips. The third base umpire is everybody's Uncle Ron Juckett. We are here in Rangers Ballpark in Arlington, Texas, with grass field, and it is a small ballpark both for righties and lefties. And with that, now let us take you to the starting lineups for tonight's ball game. For the visiting Blue Jays, it will be Shannon Stewart leading off and playing left field. Batting second, playing third base, Eric Hensky. Batting third, the DH, Josh Phelps. Batting fourth, the first baseman, Carlos Delgado. Batting fifth, Vernon Wells, the center fielder. Batting sixth, the shortstop, Chris Woodward. Batting seventh and playing right field, Jose Cruz. Batting eighth will be second baseman, Dave Berg. Batting ninth and catching, Tom Wilson. For the Rangers, leading off will be the second baseman, Domingo Cedeno. Pudge Rodriguez bats second and catches, and Will Clark will bat third and play first base. The big slug fielder, Rusty Greer. And playing shortstop tonight and batting ninth, Benji Gill. One thing we will be adding to the mix for the round of 16 and beyond is that we will be keeping track of bullpen usage. So based on the starting pitchers from Game 1 and the relief pitchers that were used, we will now be limited to a 4-man rotation. Bullpen use will be governed by the old Stratomatic tournament rules. And those rules are, first, that a player may not pitch, a relief pitcher may not pitch in 4 straight games. And secondly, the relief pitcher may not pitch more than 4 innings in a total of 4 days, or may not pitch more than 4 innings in a single game. So it's basically 4 innings in 4 days. And on day 4, you've got to have a day off. The Rangers we're starting both these series on essentially day 5 of the regular season. So the Rangers swept their series in 2 games, and so they are fully rested in the bullpen, and Burkett is able to start today. The Blue Jays went to 3 games, so they may have some bullpen usage issues, although with the day off on day 4, everybody is actually available. And nobody pitched more than 2 2/3 innings over the course of games 2 and 3. So everybody has at least an inning available in the Blue Jays bullpen. And with that, I believe we are ready to get it started. John Burkett is on the mound, completing his warm-ups for the Rangers as Shannon Stewart steps in to begin today's ball game. The umpire says play ball, and here we go. The first roll of the game, Burkett winds and delivers a 2-2-4. Is he pitching at home? Yes, he is. That is a pop out to shortstop. Quickly, one up and one down, as Eric Hinske comes to the plate. Hinske, a lefty. He is your hot batter today for the Blue Jays, based on his performance in the most recent game. And the roll is a 1-5-6. Is Hinske a whiffer? Yes, he is. That is a strikeout. Quickly, two up and two down, as designated hitter Josh Phelps comes to the plate for the Blue Jays. Phelps digs in against Burkett. The pitch is a 1-2-4. Is Burkett a control pitcher? He is a semi-control, and the decider die says yes. So that will be a ground out to shortstop to end the inning. So 3 up and 3 down for the Blue Jays in the top of the first. And after the first half inning of play, it's the Blue Jays nothing and the Rangers coming to bat. Domingo Cedeno will lead off against Pete Walker for the Blue Jays. Walker, semi-workman, semi-control, right-handed pitcher against the switch-hitting leadoff man, Domingo Cedeno. And the first delivery from Walker is a 4-5-5. Is Walker a flash? No. Is Cedeno a home run king? No. That's going to be a ground out to first base. We'll score that a 3-1 as Walker gets over to make the play at first and retire Cedeno for the first out of the inning. Up next, the catcher, Ivan Pudge Rodriguez, right-hand batter, semi-champion, semi-slugger. Rodriguez swings and it's a 2-5-6. Is the pitcher a struggler? No. Is the batter a champion or patient? He is a champion. And according to the decider die, that's going to be a base on balls. So Rodriguez was able to check his swing and take ball 4, and we have our first base runner of the ball game. And that will bring to the plate Will Clark, with Rodriguez at first and 1 out in the inning. Rodriguez, a semi-stoic runner, not really a threat to go. Catching today for the Blue Jays is Tom Wilson, and he is a semi-iron catcher. Walker winds and delivers to Clark. The roll is a 3-4-5. Do we have an iron catcher? The decider die says yes, and that's going to be another base on balls. So 2 walks surrendered by Pete Walker after retiring the first batter. And with 1 out, runners at first and second, Juan Gonzalez comes to the plate. Gonzalez is a full hero, full home run king, semi-slugger. And on a roll of 1-2-4, is the pitcher a control? He is a semi-control, but the decider die says no. Is the batter eager? He is semi-eager. And this time the decider die says yes, and that's going to be a pop out to first base. Looked like he swung at ball 4 there. Gonzalez being aggressive with the opportunity to drive in some runs. So the runners will hold, and with 2 on and 2 out, your batter will be the left-handed hitting DH Lee Stevens. The pitch to Stevens is a 2-4-4. Is Walker pitching at home? No. Is Stevens a slugger? He is a semi-slugger, and the decider die says yes, and that is a double to left field. The lead die is a 2. Active runners score from first on doubles, from second on any hit. Let's see, the runner at first is Will Clark. He is a stoic runner, so he will hold at third. But Rodriguez scores with the first run of the game, and it's a 1-0 ball game in favor of the Texas Rangers. So score that a double for Stevens. Rodriguez scores. Clark stops at third. Stevens pulls in at second, and it's a 1-0 ball game as Dean Palmer comes to the plate with runners at second and third and still 2 outs in the inning. Palmer swings and hits a 3-4-5. Do we have an iron catcher? The decider die once again says yes, and that will be another base on balls. So the bases are now loaded. 3 walks and a hit this inning surrendered by Pete Walker. Not yet a struggler, but one more on base. If Buford gets on base here, Walker will become a semi-struggler. And he's just hoping to get out of the first inning here as Buford steps in. And Buford is the hot hitter for the day for the Rangers. The roll is a 1-4-5. Is the pitcher a struggler? No, not yet. Nothing in the batter's column. And that will be a ground out to third base, and that will end the inning. So Walker gives up 1, but that could have been a lot worse. And at the end of 1 complete inning, it is Texas 1, Toronto 0. Top of the second, Carlos Delgado will lead off for the Blue Jays. Digging in against Burkett. The roll is a 1-2-4. Is Burkett a control? The decider die says yes. That's a ground out to shortstop. So Burkett off to a very strong start now, and his team has staked him to a 1-0 lead. And he is cruising through the first 4 batters here. Vernon Wells steps in. The roll is a 1-2-3. Is the pitcher both flash and fresh? He is semi-flash, but the decider die says no. So that will not be a strikeout, but it will be a ground out to shortstop for the second out of the inning. And that brings Chris Woodward to the plate. Batting 6th. Facing off against Burkett. And the roll this time is 2-3-6. Is the pitcher double control or dynamic? No. Is it a pitcher batting? No. That's going to be a base on balls. So the first 5 men are retired, and then Woodward draws the walk, extending the inning for right fielder Jose Cruz. Woodward is a semi-stoic runner, so not a threat to steal. Pudge Rodriguez, the catcher, is a Gold Glover, and that's pretty handy to have. The roll is a 1-3-6. Is the pitcher an ace? He is not an ace. Is the batter a whiffer or cold? He is a whiffer, and that will be a strikeout to end the inning. So through 1.5, it remains 1-0 in favor of the Texas Rangers. And the Rangers come to bat here in the bottom of the second. It will be Rusty Greer to lead things off against Pete Walker. Walker faced 7 men in the first inning, but surrendered only 1 run. The roll to Greer is a 1-3-3. Is Greer a slugger? Yes, he is, and that's a home run to center field. Rusty Greer goes out of the yard, and the fans here at the ballpark in Arlington are happy with that. Solo home run leading off. That makes it a 2-0 ball game. Next up is Benji Gill, stepping in against Pete Walker. Walker having a rough time here in the first couple of innings. 2-3-4 is the roll. Are there runners on base? No. Is Gill a hot batter? No, he is not. And that's going to be a pop out to third base. So 1 out now as we go back to the top of the order, and Domingo Cedeno. Cedeno harmlessly grounded out to open the bottom of the first inning before the floodgates opened against Pete Walker. 1 out now, bases empty. The roll is a 1-1-3. Is the pitcher an ace or dynamic? No. Is the batter a slugger? No. That will be a single to center field. So Domingo Cedeno is your 1 out base runner as Pudge Rodriguez returns to the plate. Rodriguez walked to start the trouble in the bottom of the first inning, and he's already back at the plate here in the bottom of the second. The roll is a 2-4-5. Nothing in the pitcher's column. Is the batter a hero? He is a semi-champion, but he is not a hero, and that will instead be a pop out to second base. Cedeno holds at first, and with 2 outs now, we will go to the player experience chart as Will Clark comes to the plate. Clark is a full icon in 1997. Pete Walker is a semi-prospect. The roll is a 3-4. Do we have a prospect batter? No. So he is not caught looking at strike 3. Instead is a ground out to up the first baseline, runners advance. So Clark grounds out to first base, and that will end. And through 2 innings complete, it is now a 2-0 ball game in favor of the Rangers. Top of the third now, Dave Berg to lead things off for the Blue Jays. Still looking for their first hit against John Burkett. The pitch to Berg is a 3-4-5. Do we have an iron catcher? Heck no, that's Pudge Rodriguez. Does the batter have a good eye? No. That's going to be a strikeout. So Berg strikes out to open the inning. And as the number 9 hitter Tom Wilson comes to the plate, that's going to take us to the baseball right now chart. We have a hot pitcher. We do not have a hot batter. The batter is neutral. And on a roll of 6-6, do we have a hot batter? No. So he does not smash a home run into the center field stands. Instead, there's a drive to center field, and this is going to be a fence check. Wilson is a semi-home run king, but the decider die says no. So that will put him in the column of other. And on a roll of 1, that's going to be a double. Double for Tom Wilson, and that is the first hit of the game for the Blue Jays, coming from the number 9 hitter. And with 1 out, that takes us back to the top of the order. And Shannon Stewart will step into the batter's box. I keep knocking my field to the side there. Shannon Stewart flied out to open the game. Now facing Burkett with Tom Wilson on second and 1 man out. The roll is a 2-2-4. Is Burkett pitching at home? Yes, he is. That is a pop-up to shortstop for the second out. Wilson will hold at second. And the last chance for the Blue Jays will be Eric Hinske, who is the hot hitter of the day. Hinske stepping in against Burkett. The roll is a 3-4-5. Do we have an iron catcher? No. Does the batter have a good eye? No. That's going to be another strikeout, and that's going to end the inning. So the Blue Jays do collect their first hit of the game in the top of the third, but the score remains 2-0 in favor of the Rangers, with Texas coming to bat here in the bottom of the third. And we will begin the inning on the right now chart. So in the first inning, Gonzalez flied out, so he is not a hot hitter. And I'm going to scroll back and see what the last thing that Pete Walker did. Pete Walker got a strikeout of Dave Berg to end the inning. Or no, excuse me. Will Clark grounded out to end the inning. So we do not have a hot batter nor a hot pitcher as we go to the right now chart. The roll is a 4-6. Do we have a hot pitcher? No. So it is not a cold third strike. Otherwise, it is a ground out to the pitcher with the only play at first base. And that's the only play Pete Walker needs with the bases empty. So we'll score that a 1-3 ground out to retire Gonzalez and bring to the plate Lee Stevens. Double in the first inning to spark that rally and score the first run of the game for the Rangers. The pitch this time is a 2-4-5. Nothing on the pitcher's column. Is the batter a hero? He is a full hero, and that's going to be a single to left, and Lee Stevens is now 2 for 2 on the ball game. And with one man on, one man out, that brings Dean Palmer, the right-handed hitting third baseman, to the plate. Palmer digs in against Walker. The roll is a 1-1-2. Is Walker a flash? No. Is Palmer a sad sack? No. And that is going to be a check with scorer roll. So that means that Dean Palmer is going to reach first base. And according to the scorer, that is going to be a base hit off the glove of the shortstop. So that'll be a single. And that will move Stevens to second base. And there are now two men on with one man out. And coming to the plate is the hot-hitting Damon Buford for the Rangers. The roll for Buford is a 1-4-5. Is the pitcher a struggler? Not yet. That will be a ground out to either first base or third base. Let's see, Buford is a right-hand hitter, so on 1-4 it'll be the pull field. So it will be a ground out to third base. And on a lead die of 1, that's going to be a double play to end the inning. Score that 5-4-3. And the Rangers go down scoreless in the bottom of the third. First time the Rangers have been held scoreless in an inning in this ball game. And as we go to the top of the fourth, it remains a 2-0 ball game in favor of Texas. Josh Phelps to lead things off against Burkett here in the top of the fourth. And for Burkett, we have a 1-3-3. Nothing in the pitcher's column. Is the batter a slugger? Yes, he is, and that is a home run to center field. So just like that, one swing of the bat, and Josh Phelps has cut the lead in half. It's a 2-1 ball game. And that brings to the plate the very dangerous Carlos Delgado for the Blue Jays. Big power hitting first baseman. Burkett winds and delivers a 3-4-5. Do we have an iron catcher? No. Does Delgado have a good eye? No, he's patient, but he does not have a good eye. And that's going to be a strikeout. And with one out, that brings Vernon Wells to the plate. And that takes us back to our baseball right now chart. Burkett is now a hot pitcher. Wells grounded out in the first inning, so he is not a hot batter. And the roll is a 4-6. Do we have a hot pitcher? Yes. He baffles the batter with a called third strike. And that is another strikeout for John Burkett. That is the second out of the inning. And with two outs and the bases empty, that brings Chris Woodward to the plate. Woodward playing shortstop today for the Blue Jays. The roll is a 1-2-5. Is Burkett a struggler? No. Is Woodward patient? No. That's going to be, if he is a whiffer, that is a strikeout. Woodward strikes out to end the inning. But Toronto gets on the board. And through 3.5 innings, it is now a 2-1 lead for Texas. Rusty Greer comes to the plate to lead off the bottom of the fourth inning for Texas. And the roll for Greer is a 3-4-4. Is the pitcher a prospect? He is a semi-prospect, but the decider die says no. Is Greer patient? He is semi-patient, and the decider die says yes. And that will be a base on balls. So Greer is on base to lead off the inning. The catcher for for the Blue Jays is Tom Wilson, and he is semi-iron. The decider die says no, so he is a normal catcher, which means that if Greer wants to steal, he needs a pip and a 1-4. And with no pip, Greer is unable to take the lead, so he remains stuck at first base as Benji Gill comes to the plate. With nobody out and Greer perched on first. The pitch to Gill is a 1-3-3. Is Gill a slugger? No. That's going to be a fly out to left field. And that will be the first out of the inning. Greer will hold it first. And your one out batter is leadoff hitter Domingo Cedeno. Cedeno against Walker. The roll is a 1-4-4. Is Walker a flash? No. Is Cedeno a hero? He is a full hero. That will be a single to right. And that will, Greer will hold its second on a lead die of 1. But again, that puts 2 runners on base. As the heart of the order is coming up for Texas now. Here is Pudge Rodriguez. Rodriguez flied out his last at bat after drawing a walk in the opening inning. The roll now is a 2-3-6. Is the pitcher double control or dynamic? No. Is it a pitcher batting? No. And on a 2-3-6, that is another walk. Second walk of the game for Pudge Rodriguez, and that's going to load the bases with 1 man out for Will Clark. Walker is not yet a struggler, but if he lets Will Clark on base, he will become a semi-struggler. Infield is going to be back all the way around looking for the double play. And the pitch is a 2-2-6. Is the batter hit by the pitch? Yes. The decider die says yes. That is a hit by pitch. Clark takes one for the team, and that will score a run on the bases loaded hit batsman. So it is now a 3-1 ball game, and Pete Walker is now a semi-struggler. And Gonzalez can make him a full struggler if he can do some damage here. Infield remains back all the way around. And the pitch is a 2-3-3. Is the pitcher an ace or a star? No. Is the batter a slugger? Gonzalez is a semi-slugger. The decider die says yes, and that is a home run to right field. Let's see, on a 2-3-3, that is a home run to left field. Gonzalez got around on that one and took it out of the yard for a grand slam home run. Grand slam home run for Juan Gonzalez. And it is now, just like that, a 7-1 ball game. That makes Walker a struggler. And also, if you use Stratomatic fatigue rules, he would be a struggler for the rest of the game. So I guess we should start thinking about going to the bullpen for the Blue Jays. And let's see what sort of availability they have. Luke Prokopec has not pitched in the last several games, so he is at full strength. And in fact, he is the best option at this point based upon usage. So Walker goes to the dugout, and Luke Prokopec comes in, and this is not what you want to see for the Blue Jays. He is a full struggler and a full workman. There's a reason why he didn't see any action in that first series. So Walker comes out, Prokopec comes into the ball game, as the Blue Jays now trail by 6, and coming to the plate is Dean Palmer. I do like this ice score. It really makes it easy to keep track of the action and keep track of the ball game. Bottom of the 4th, 1 out. Excuse me, Lee Stevens is the batter because Gonzalez went deep. So Stevens is up now. Prokopec will be an ace for this batter as he's coming in the middle of the inning. And on a roll of 3-5-5, is the pitcher wild? No. Is Stevens a sad sack? No. And that will be a single to right field and possibly a stolen base if the runner's not stoic. And Stevens is semi-stoic, but on a blank decider die, he is not stoic, and the chart says he steals second. And I'm going to overrule that because Stevens is not a base stealer, and the Rangers already have a 6-run lead, so there is no reason for him to be running. We'll just call that a single, and we will leave him at first base for now. And to the plate will come third baseman Dean Palmer. Palmer digging in against Prokopec. Has already walked and singled on the game. The roll is a 2-5-6. Is the pitcher a struggler? Yes, he is. That will be a single past third base. and that will move Lee Stevens to second. I have a feeling it's going to be a long day for this Blue Jays pitching staff, as they may leave Burkett out there to take one for the team in this opening game of a best-of-3 series. Damon Buford is the batter. He is your hot guy for today, although he is 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts so far. The roll is a 2-3-4. Are there runners on base? Yes. This will be a plate drama check. What's going to happen here on the plate drama chart? The roll is a 3-4. Is the pitcher wild? No, he is not wild. So this will not be a wild pitch. Instead, it curves in for a strike, and we're going to go to the umpire's chart. The umpire mini chart with runners at first and second. So we'll see if this umpire's crew is worth their salt. The roll on the umpire chart is a 2-4. Do we have a respected umpire at second base? That's Jim Browning. He is a questionable umpire. The respected umpire would call the batter out at first, runner ruled out at second on a close throw. Other umpires rule the runner safe, other to third. So that's going to be a ground out at first, but the runner heading to second beat the throw. So we will score that as a ground out, runner's advance. So Buford hits a ground ball to the shortstop, and the runners advance. So that is your second out of the inning. That's right, Benji Gill flying out earlier in the inning. And now there are 2 outs, runners at second and third. Rusty Greer is your batter. He is the cold guy for today. So let's see if Burkett can escape this inning without any further damage. The pitch to Greer is a 1-2-5. Is Burkett a struggler? Yes. And that is going to be another fence check. Greer is a full slugger. So this is again bad news for the Blue Jays. And on a roll of 5, that ball is out of here. Rusty Greer goes yard. That is his second home run of the game, and it is now a 10-1 ball game. The Rangers are adding insult to injury as Greer goes yard with a 3-run shot on top of the grand slam already hit by Juan Gonzalez earlier in the inning. And Burkett is just going to stay out there and take one for the team. Benji Gill is your 2-out batter now with the bases empty. And the pitch is a 4-5-6. Nothing on the pitcher's column, thank goodness. Is the batter patient? No. And that's going to be a fly out to center field, and that will end the inning. Mercifully, the inning ends, but the Rangers put up 8 runs on 2 home runs, and after 4 innings complete, it is a 10-1 ball game. So Gill makes the final out of the inning, and that will bring the Blue Jays back to the plate in the person of Jose Cruz as we go to the team chemistry chart. The roll is a 3-4. Both teams are semi-harmonious. Do we have batting team harmony? The decider die says no. And that's going to be a ground out to third base to open the inning. That will bring Dave Berg to the plate. And that will take us back to the standard chart, as Burkett now can just put it in cruise control. He's only surrendered a run on 2 hits so far, and we are 1 out deep into the 5th inning. And the pitch to Berg is a 1-1-1. Is Burkett an ace? No. Is the batter a scrapper? The decider die says no, and that's a home run to left field for Dave Berg. So Dave Berg goes out of the yard. Surprising source of power for the semi-scrapper Dave Berg. And that makes it a 10-2 ball game. Hope springs eternal on the Blue Jays bench as Dave Berg touches them all, and that brings Tom Wilson to the plate with nobody on and one out. The pitch to Wilson is a 3-4-6. Nothing in the pitcher's column. Is the batter eager? No. And he's going to draw the walk. So just like that, when you think Burkett can relax, maybe he's relaxed a little too much as he's allowed his second base runner the inning. And that's going to take us to the team chemistry chart. The roll is a 3-6. Do we have batting team harmony? The decider die says yes. The enthused batter knocks a deep drive off the outfield wall for a double. And on the lead die of 3, runners advance 2 bases on any hit. And Tom Wilson is not he's a full stoic runner. So Stewart will stroke a double off the wall. Wilson holds up at third base. And there are quickly 2 on with 1 out. And that makes Burkett a semi-struggler. Fortune's changing very quickly for Burkett here in the top of the 5th, but he still has an 8-run lead. And the infield will still play back as Eric Hinske comes to the plate. Hinske is the hot batter for the Blue Jays today. And on a roll of 2-3-4, do we have runners on base? Yes. That's going to take us to the plate drama chart. What is going to happen now with the plate drama chart? The roll is a 2-5. Is the catcher gold? That is Pud Rodriguez. He is gold. So he digs one out of the dirt, saving Burkett from a wild pitch, and that is going to take us to the umpire mini chart once again with runners at second and third. And with runners at second and third, the roll on the umpire chart is a 1-2. Do we have a strict umpire at second base? We do not. Rules runner picked off at second base on throw from catchers. Other umpires rule runner safe, batter still at bat. So Stewart may have been a little too eager in taking his lead. Very nearly picked off at second base, but Jim Browning makes the safe call. And that is going to take us back to the standard at-bat chart for Hinske to continue this at-bat against John Burkett. The roll this time is a 2-4-6. Is Burkett a control? He is a semi-control, but the decider die says no. Is Hinske eager or a sad sack? No. That's going to be a base on balls. And that, oops, undo that. That's going to be a base on balls. And now that makes Burkett a full struggler. He wants to at least get through 5 innings and pick up the victory, and the Rangers would like to see him go further than that, so they're going to leave him in the ball game for now. But Josh Phelps is a slugger, and he could bring the Blue Jays right back into the game if he goes yard in this situation. The bases are loaded, 1 man out, infield back. The pitch is a 2-3-4. And that's going to take us once again back to the plate drama chart. Here we go again. This time the roll on the plate drama chart is a 3-6. Is the catcher iron? No. So there will not be a passed ball. Catcher gathers in a low sinking curveball. That's a ball, and we go back to the umpiring mini chart with the bases loaded this time. I thought this was going to be a boring game when Texas went out 10-1, but now they are on the comeback trail, are the Blue Jays. And let's see what shenanigans the umpires are up to this time. The roll is a 3-4. Do we have a questionable umpire at second? Jim Browning is semi-questionable. The decider die says no. Umpire calls runner out at second on attempted double play. Other runners rule the umpire safe. So that's going to be a ground out to first base, and all the runners will advance, as they could not turn the double play because Jim Browning correctly identified that the foot was off the bag and the runner at second is safe. So that will be an out. It will be a ground out. We'll score that 4-3. And all the runners will advance. And that makes it a 10-3 ball game. But importantly, after recording that out, Burkett is no longer a struggler. And he's going to need that with Carlos Delgado coming to the plate and still 2 men on with 2 men out. This is a big out for Burkett if he wants to remain in this ball game. And this time the pitch is a 1-3-5, and that is going to take us to our random events mini charts. And with the lead die being blue, it's going to be an umpire mini chart once again. This is our 4th trip to the umpire mini chart already in this game. And this time we've got the runners on 2nd and 3rd. And the roll is a 3-4. Do we have a questionable umpire at 2nd? This time the decider die says yes. And on the pickoff throw, the runner is called out at 2nd despite being off the bag. So that is a pickoff play at 2nd. Hinske gets picked off, and that's going to end the inning. Some lousy umpiring out there by Jim Browning. But in this case, it goes to the benefit of the Rangers, and they escape further damage in the top of the 5th. But the Blue Jays do put up 2 runs, and it is now a 10-3 ball game. And as you will recall, Burkett has the star rating for the whole game based on the manager perks at the beginning of the broadcast. And so we go to the bottom of the 5th, and it remains a 10-3 ball game in favor of the Rangers, and Luke Burkett is headed to the mound for his 2nd inning of work. So he will be semi-fresh this inning as Domingo Cedeno steps in to lead off. Cedeno against Burkett, and it's another 1-3-5. This time the 1 is black, and that is going to be a ballpark check. It's a small ballpark both ways. The field is grass. Roll is a 4-6. Do we have a big ballpark? No. So home run king hits a home run, other batters fly out. Domingo Cedeno is a semi-scrapper, so that will be a fly out. And we'll call that a fly out to center for the first out of the inning. Warning track power has Domingo Cedeno, so that one stays in the yard, and Vernon Wells ranges back to make the catch. That will bring Pudge Rodriguez to the plate. Rodriguez 0 for 1, but has walked twice as he stands in against Burkett. The roll this time is a 1-5-6. Is Rodriguez a whiffer? He is a semi-whiffer. The decider die says no, and that's going to take us to our outfield drama chart. So we've now hit all the drama charts, I believe. We've hit the umpire chart many times. And on a roll of 3-5 is the left fielder Gold. Your left fielder for the Blue Jays tonight is Shannon Stewart. He is a neutral fielder. He is not Gold. So he is unable to get to the looping fly ball, and that is going to drop into the gap for a double. First hit of the ball game for Rodriguez, but his 3rd time on base. And with 1 out, that will take us to the team chemistry chart as Will Clark steps in. Both teams remain semi-harmonious. And on a roll of 2-4, is the batting team harmonious? The decider die says no. And instead of a bloop single, that is going to take us to the outfield drama chart once again. Lots of drama in this ball game. With the runner on 2nd, Clark hits the ball to the outfield. What's going to happen out there? On a roll of 2-6, is the center fielder stoic? That is Vernon Wells. He is not stoic. So he dives for the fast fading fly ball, and this time makes the grab for the out. So Clark is retired on a nice play by Vernon Wells on that line drive to center field. And your 2-out batter will be Juan Gonzalez, who last time to the plate hit the grand slam home run that busted this ball game wide open. Gonzalez squaring up against Burkett once again. The roll is a 2-3-3. Is Burkett an ace or a star? He is today. And that is a ground out to shortstop to end the inning. So we are through 5 complete now, and it remains a 10-3 ball game. And Luke Burkett is going to continue to toil out there in his 3rd inning of work, so he is no longer fresh. But he can go 4 innings according to the bullpen rules, and the Blue Jays are just going to ride that in the interest of saving their relief help for later in the series. Vernon Wells stepping in against, it is Carlos Delgado stepping in against Burkett here to start the top of the 6th. Against Burkett to start the 6th. 1-1-6 is the roll. And I may have goofed that up, but we'll write it out. Is the pitcher fresh? The decider die says no, so that will not be a strikeout. Is the batter a utility or a sad sack? No. That's going to be a single to left for Delgado to start the inning. And the next batter will be Vernon Wells. Yeah, I do think I misread the cards on that last inning, but with a 7-run ball game, I'm not going to worry about retracing my steps. Vernon Wells with a runner on first, nobody out, squaring off against Burkett. And the pitch is a 1-3-4. Do we have a gold catcher? Yes, we do, and that is a strikeout. Nicely framed by Pudge Rodriguez for a strikeout looking. Delgado holds at first, and your 1-out batter will be shortstop Chris Woodward. The roll this time is a 1-2-3. Is the pitcher both flash and fresh? The decider die says no. But that will be a ground out to shortstop, and on a lead die of 1, that will be a double play to end the inning. So 3 men up, 3 men down after the double play. We are through 5.5, and it remains a 10-3 ball game in favor of Texas. Texas coming back to the plate now against Burkett. Burkett in his 3rd inning of work. And the roll is a 3-5-6. Is the pitcher the same as the batter? No. So there will not be a strikeout. Is the batter a utility or a sad sack? No. That's going to be a base hit. So Lee Stevens singles to open up the inning and bring Dean Palmer to the plate. Is the batter a hero? No. That will be a pop out to second base. Stevens holds at first with the first out of the inning, and that brings the hot-hitting Damon Buford to the plate. And that will take us to our player experience chart. Burkett is a semi-prospect. Buford is neutral. The roll is a 3-6. Do we have a prospect pitcher? The decider die says yes. So he misses the outside corner, and Buford rips a deep drive to center field for a double. And on a lead die of 3, runners advance 2 bases on any hit. So Stevens will pull in at third on the double by Buford. And we now have runners at second and third with still just 1 out for Rusty Greer, who has already homered twice today. How about that? Greer began the game as the cold hitter, but he has stroked 2 home runs. And you can bet he won't be the cold hitter next time around. Infield back with the 7-run deficit. The pitch to Greer is a 1-1-6. Is the pitcher fresh? Not on your life. Is the batter a utility or a sad sack? No. And that's going to be a single to left. And on a lead die of 1, an active runner will score from second base. Is Buford active? He is semi-active. And the decider die says yes, he will score. So that's a 2-run single for Rusty Greer, and he just continues to knock the cover off the ball. So give Greer a single, turn to first base, and heads back with another 2-run single, and it is now a 12-3 ball game. And Burkett is still going to be out there and just take one for the team. Gill, 245. Nothing on the pitcher's chart. Is Gill a hero? No. That will be a pop out to second base for the second out of the inning. Greer will hold it first. And with 2 outs, that takes us back to the player experience chart. Burkett, the prospect. Leadoff hitter Domingo Cedeno at the plate for the Rangers, and he is neutral. The roll this time is a 1-5. Do we have a prospect batter? No. So he does not swing at a junk pitch. Instead, he strokes a single. And the hit parade continues for the Rangers. That is now 15 of them. Cedeno to first, Greer holds up at second. And your 2-out batter now is Pudge Rodriguez, who has a double and a pair of walks on the game. The roll is a 1-2-2. Is the pitcher a workman? Yes, he is. That is a single to center field. And everybody moves up a base. And I think it's time we took mercy on Luke Burkett. Let's see, the next batter is Will Clark. He is a lefty. The bases are loaded. And I think we've done as much humiliation to Burkett as we can. So we will bring in oh my goodness, Scott Iyer, who has pitched only a total of 2/3 of an inning in the series so far. So he can actually go 3.1 if we wanted him to. So Scott Iyer comes in for Burkett, who didn't do the Blue Jays any favors on this night. Iyer, the lefty, coming in to face Will Clark, the left-hand batter. And for this batter, Iyer will have the ace quality. Clark with the bases loaded. The pitch is a 3-4-5. Do we have an iron catcher? The catcher is Tom Wilson, and he is semi-iron, and the decider die calls him an iron catcher. So the Blue Jays just cannot catch a break. And as a result of the iron catcher, it's a base on balls. And Scott Iyer comes in and walks in a run. And that will bring Juan Gonzalez to the plate. He's already hit 1 grand slam today. Can Gonzalez hit another grand slam against this helpless lefty workman, Scott Iyer? The roll is a 2-5-6. Is the pitcher a struggler? No. Is the batter a champion or patient? No. And that's going to take us to the infield drama chart. Infield drama for the Blue Jays. The roll is a 1-3. Is the third baseman iron? The third baseman out there is Eric Hensky, and I believe he's a pretty reliable fielder. Yes, he is a neutral fielder. He is not iron. So on a roll of 1-3, there will not be an error committed. Instead, it's a routine ground out to third base, and that mercifully ends the inning, although the Rangers put up 3 more runs, and it's now a 13-3 ball game. So we'll score that a 5-3 ground out. And Iyer gets the Blue Jays out of the inning. Let's do a quick check on the pitching lines and be sure our bullpen status is up to date. Pitching for the Blue Jays, and I'll put this on screen if you haven't seen the Stratomatic tournament pitching charts before. Walker went 3 1/3 and has to sit out the next 3 ball games. He can only start every 4th. Burkett went 2 1/3, so that goes here. And Scott Iyer has gone 1/3 so far, and you can see here that in Game 2 he went 2/3 of an inning. In Game 3 he appeared but did not retire a batter. And Day 4 was a rest day. So with the 4 innings in 4 days rule, Iyer can go 3.1. So he can do another 3 innings. He can finish the ball game for the Blue Jays and save the bullpen if he can survive that long. So that is where we are with our bullpen utilization. John Burkett is still out there toiling away for the Rangers as Jose Cruz steps in to lead off the top of the 7th. Burkett is no longer fresh, but he has the star quality the whole game. As for the Blue Jays, the pitch is a 2-3-3. Is the pitcher an ace or a star? He is today, and that's a ground out to short. For the first out of the inning. So Burkett continues to cruise. Dave Byrne, now your batter. Facing Burkett with one man out, nobody on here in the top of the 7th. The pitch is a 3-3-4. Is Burkett an ace or a star? Yes, he is. And that is a pop out to first base. And that will be the second out of the inning, and that will bring Tom Wilson to the plate. Wilson, the pitch is a 1-3-4. Do we have a gold catcher? We have Pud Rodriguez. That's a gold catcher, and that is a strikeout to end the inning. So Burkett cruises through the 7th and continues to cling to a 10-run lead. And it is time for the 7th inning stretch. Take me out to the ball game and all that. I'm still a little hoarse from my surgical procedure early in the week, so you do not get to get the full treat of the vocal stylings of one Dave Little on this night. Lee Stevens, the lefty, steps in the bottom of the 7th here against Scott Iyer. And the pitch now is a 2-3-5. Is the pitcher wild? No. Is the batter eager? Yes, he is. And that's a single through shortstop. Unless he is a whiffer, he is also a whiffer, and that's actually going to be a strikeout. So Stevens is retired on the strikeout, and that brings Dean Palmer to the plate. Palmer. 1-3-6. Is Iyer an ace? Not on your life. Is Palmer a whiffer or cold? He is a whiffer, and that is a strikeout. So Iyer comes in and strikes out the first two men he faces here in the bottom of the 7th, and that brings the hot-hitting Damon Buford to the plate. Buford just 1 for 4 on the night, and on a 1-1-5, is the pitcher fresh? He is semi-fresh. The decider die says yes. And that will be a pop out to the infielder of choice. And we choose the third baseman, Hinsky. And on the pop out to Hinsky, the inning ends. So we go to the top of the 8th. The Blue Jays need 10 to tie and 11 to take the lead. As Burkett continues to spare the Rangers bullpen and coast along. Still only giving up 5 hits through 7 innings complete. And leading off the 8th, Burkett delivers a 1-4-5. Is he a struggler? No. That's going to be a ground out to third base. Hinsky against Burkett. 1 out, nobody on base. The roll is a 1-2-6. Is the pitcher fresh? No. Is the batter a sad sack? No. That's going to be a single past second base for Eric Hinsky. And with 1 out and 1 on, that takes us to the baseball right now chart. As Josh Phelps comes to the plate. Last time up, Phelps hit a ground out. So he is not cold. He did not strike out in his last at bat. And Burkett is now considered cold because he surrendered a hit to the last batter. So the roll is a 2-4. Do we have a hot batter? No. So he does not hit a bloop single over short. Instead, he hits a fly out to left field. And that is the second out of the inning. Hinske will hold at first. And your 2-out batter is the left-handed slugger Carlos Delgado. Delgado against Burkett. 2-5-6 is the roll. Is the pitcher a struggler? No. Is the batter a champion or patient? He is patient. He draws the base on balls. And that puts 2 men on now with 2 outs. And the batter is Vernon Wells. Burkett trying to slog his way through inning number 8. And maybe even finish what he started. The roll here is a 3-4-6. Nothing on the pitcher's column. Is the batter eager? Yes, he is, and that's a fly out to center field. And that will end the inning. So once again, Burkett dances off the hook. And through 7.5. It is 13-3 in favor of the Rangers. Scott Iyer comes out for his 3rd inning of work. He is no longer fresh, but he can finish this one off and save his bullpen as Rusty Greer leads off. Greer 3 for 3, 2 homers and a walk, and the roll is a 1-2-5. Is the pitcher a struggler? No. Is the batter patient? The decider, he is semi-patient, and the decider die says yes, and so that will be a walk. Greer on first with Benji Gill coming to the plate. Pitch to Gill is a 2-3-3. Is the pitcher an ace or a star? No. Is the batter a slugger? No. That's going to be a fly out to center field. Greer will hold, and that's the 1st out of the inning. And we go back to the top of the order for Domingo Cedeno. Cedeno 3 for 5 tonight, 3 singles. Stepping in against Scott Iyer. And the pitch is a 1-3-6. Is the pitcher an ace? No. Is the batter a whiffer or cold? He is a whiffer, and that is a strikeout. And that will be the 2nd out of the inning, as the Rangers take their at-bats for what they hope will be the final time here in the bottom of the 8th. Pudge Rodriguez, the batter. 2 for 3 with a double and a single and a pair of walks. 3-4-4 is the roll. Is the pitcher a prospect? No. Is the batter patient? No. That's going to be a pop out to second base to end the inning. So we are through 8 complete, and it is a 13-3 ball game. Yes, Chris Woodward leads things off for the Blue Jays here. Hoping against hope to begin a 10-run rally and get the Blue Jays back into this one against John Burkett, who wants to finish what he started. 3 runs on 6 hits so far today for Burkett. The pitch to Woodward is a 1-3-6. Is Burkett an ace? No. Is the batter a whiffer? Yes, that is a strikeout. So Burkett is still bringing it as Jose Cruz comes to the plate. And the pitch is a 1-2-5. Is Burkett a struggler? No. Is the batter patient? No. And that will be a strikeout. Cruz is a whiffer, so he strikes out. Yeah, and just for fun, we are now going to bring Felipe Lopez off of the bench to bat for Dave Berg, because if you remember back an hour or so ago when we opened the broadcast, Lopez has the Delta quality. And so we'll see if he can stroke an extra base hit, although Berg is a semi-hero. Lopez is a semi-utility. What the heck, let's make the change. Smoke him if you got him, as they say. So Berg comes out, and Lopez comes into the game to bat. Yes, Burkett tries to retire this and author the complete game. The roll is a 3-4-6. Nothing on the pitcher's chart. Is the batter eager? No. That's going to be a base on balls. So the Delta rating didn't do him any good, but Lopez does draw the walk to extend the ball game for Tom Wilson. Wilson is a home run king. He has doubled and walked and struck out in his 3 plate appearances tonight. Burkett winds and delivers. 4-6-6. Is Burkett a control? He's a semi-control, but the decider die says no. Is Wilson a home run king or a slugger? He is a semi-home run king. The decider die says no. That would have been a strikeout. Instead, it is a difficult ground out to the choice infielder, in this case the shortstop, and that will be your ball game. 6-3 on the out, and your final score tonight is the Texas Rangers 13, the Toronto Blue Jays 3. The starting pitchers are the pitchers of record. Let's go to the box score and see who did the damage. For the visiting Rangers, who rolled up that 13-run victory, excuse me, the homestanding Rangers. We'll start with the Rangers. And for the Rangers, high score is calculating. It's going to take a long time to calculate all 13 of those runs. And here we go. Domingo Cedeno, 3 for 6. Scored 1 run. Of course, Rusty Greer was 3 for 5, homered twice, 6 RBIs on the game. So he has got to be your star of the game. And Juan Gonzalez hit the grand slam that busted things open. Those are your 2 offensive stars of the game. And the pitching line for John Burkett, 9 innings complete, 3 runs allowed, and he will get the victory. Batting lines for the homestanding for the visiting Blue Jays. The batting lines will be, nobody got more than 1 hit. The RBIs went to Josh Phelps on the home run, and Dave Berg on the home run. So Phelps will probably be your hot guy for the next game. Actually, we'll probably give that to Berg, since Berg only got 3 plate appearances. That's right, we pinch hit for Berg, so he only got 3 plate appearances. And Phelps hit the home run, so he'll be the hot guy. The pitching lines for the Blue Jays, what a disaster this is going to be. Pete Walker, 3 1/3 innings pitched, 7 earned runs. Luke Burkett managed 2 1/3, gave up 6 runs. And Scott Iyer went 2 1/3. So we'll record that here. So he will only be available for, actually in the next game he can go 1.2. Burkett can go 1.2. And Burkett goes the distance for the Rangers and saves their bullpen. And it will be, I imagine, probably Bobby Witt to start the next game for the Rangers. Either Bobby Witt or Darren Oliver could go. And the bullpen rested for the Rangers in Game 5, so in Game 6 they can have as much bullpen as they need. All right, that is our final score for tonight. Once again, your final is Texas 13 and Toronto 3 here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. Thank you for everybody who checks out tonight's broadcast.